Hey there, ever wonder if that cute girl across the room is imagining what you look like beneath those clothes? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive into the tantalizing world of female body language and the subtle signs that she might be undressing you with her eyes. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I tell if she's just being friendly or if she's picturing me in my birthday suit? Fear not, my friends, because by the end of this video, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to decipher even the most cryptic of female signals. But here's the thing, this isn't just about boosting your ego or scoring a hot date, although those are certainly nice perks. Understanding these cues can also help you navigate the complex world of dating and relationships with more confidence and finesse. So whether you're single and ready to mingle, or just looking to spice things up with your significant other, this video has got you covered. Get ready to take some mental notes because class is officially in session. 1. Adjusting her underwear. First up on our list of steamy signals, the subtle underwear adjustment. Picture this. You're chatting with a gorgeous woman and suddenly you notice her hand discreetly drift to her chest or hip, giving her bra or panties a little tug through her clothing. Now, before you get too excited, let's break this down. When a woman adjusts her undergarments in your presence, it could be a sign that she's feeling a bit hot and bothered, and not just because the room temperature is too high. You see, fiddling with her bra strap or shifting her panties is a subconscious way of drawing attention to her most intimate areas, almost like a secret invitation for your eyes to wander. But here's the catch. This signal alone doesn't necessarily mean she wants to jump your bones right then and there. It could simply be a sign of nerves or discomfort, especially if you're in a crowded or unfamiliar setting. The key is to look for this cue in combination with other signals on this list. If she's adjusting her unmentionables while also making prolonged eye contact or finding excuses to touch you, then chances are she's picturing a lot more than just friendly conversation. So keep your eyes peeled for this subtle yet sexy gesture. Just try not to get caught staring too hard at her underwear outline. 2. Spreading her legs slightly. Next up, we have a signal that's a bit more overt than the subtle underwear adjustment, but still requires a keen eye to catch the ever so slight leg spread. Imagine this scenario. You're sitting next to a beautiful woman, maybe at a bar or a coffee shop, and you notice her uncrossing her legs and letting them fall slightly open in your direction. Gentlemen, this is no accident. When a woman parts her legs while sitting near you, it's a subconscious way of inviting you into her personal space and hinting at her openness to intimacy. Now I know what you might be thinking. But what if she's just trying to get comfortable or air out her lady bits? And sure, that's a possibility. But more often than not, if a woman is interested in you, she'll find subtle ways to display her body and make herself appear more accessible. It's like a non-verbal way of saying, hey, I'm here, I'm available, and I want you to notice me. Of course, as with any body language cue, context is key. If she's spreading her legs while also leaning away from you or avoiding eye contact, she might just be trying to create some distance. But if she's coupling this move with other flirtatious signals, it's a pretty good indication that her mind is wandering to naughtier places. 3. Fingering her hair. All right, fellas, let's talk about a signal that's equal parts sexy and subtle, the tantalizing hair touch. Picture this. You're deep in conversation with a captivating woman, and suddenly you notice her fingers slowly drifting up to her locks, twirling a strand or running through her mane. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't that just a nervous habit? And sure, sometimes it can be, but more often than not, when a woman is playing with her hair in your presence, it's a sign that she's feeling flirtatious and maybe even a bit aroused. You see, the hair is a powerful sensual tool. It's often associated with femininity, beauty, and even primal attraction. When a woman touches her hair in a slow, deliberate way, especially around the nape of her neck or the ends of her strands, it's like she's subconsciously showcasing her desire to be touched and caressed. Plus, let's be real, there's just something undeniably alluring about a woman running her fingers through her hair. It's like a real-life shampoo commercial, but instead of trying to sell you on the latest hair care product, she's trying to sell you on the idea of running your own hands through those luscious locks. So if you catch a woman twirling her hair while making eye contact with you, take it as a sign that she's not just interested in the conversation, but maybe also in a little something extra. 4. Stroking her thigh. Now let's venture into some steamier territory with a signal that's sure to get your heart racing, the tantalizing thigh stroke. Imagine this. You're chatting up a beautiful woman, and suddenly you notice her hand slowly gliding up and down her own thighs, almost as if she's caressing herself. Guys, if you see this happening, it's time to pay attention because she's definitely not thinking about the weather. When a woman touches her own thighs in a sensual manner, especially while maintaining eye contact with you, it's a powerful indication that her thoughts are drifting to more intimate places. It's like she's subconsciously hinting at where she wants your hands to be, or maybe even picturing your hands replacing her own. Now I know what you might be thinking, but what if she's just itchy or trying to smooth out her pants? Trust me, there's a big difference between an absent-minded scratch and a deliberate, slow caress. If her movements are languid and sensual, and especially if she's coupling them with other flirtatious cues like biting her lip or leaning in closer, then chances are she's not thinking about any itch, except maybe the one only you can scratch. So if you're lucky enough to witness this steamy signal in action, take it as a clear invitation to turn up the heat and see where the night takes you. 5. Lingering over your body. All right, fellas. Let's talk about a signal that's a bit more subtle than the thigh stroke, but no less indicative of her carnal cravings, the lingering body scan. Picture this. You're standing in front of a gorgeous woman, maybe at a bar or a party, and you catch her gaze slowly drifting down your body, pausing at certain spots before making its way back up to your eyes. Gentlemen, when a woman takes her time checking you out like this, it's a clear sign that she likes what she sees and maybe even wants to see more. You see, when we're attracted to someone, our eyes naturally want to linger on their most appealing features. If her gaze is resting on your chest, your arms, or even your crotch for a beat too long, it's a good indication that she's picturing what lies beneath those clothes and liking the mental image. Now, it's important to note that not all lingering glances are created equal. If she's quickly scanning your body with a neutral expression, she might just be sizing you up or trying to read your body language. But if her gaze is slow, deliberate, and accompanied by a slight smile or a bite of her lip, boy, she's not just undressing you with her eyes, she's practically ripping those clothes off in her mind. 6. Deep breaths when near you. Next up, we have a signal that's a bit more primal in nature, the deep, savoring breath. Imagine this. You're in close proximity to a beautiful woman, maybe dancing or sharing an intimate moment, and you notice her chest rising and falling with deep, deliberate breaths like she's inhaling your very essence. Guys, when a woman is taking deep breaths around you, it's not just because she's winded from all that dancing, although props to you if you've got her heart rate up. More often than not, it's a sign that she's drinking in your scent and finding it absolutely intoxicating. You see, scent is one of our most powerful sensual triggers. It's tied to memory, emotion, and even sexual attraction. When a woman is deeply breathing in your presence, it's like she's trying to memorize your unique aroma, letting it flood her senses and maybe even fuel her fantasies. Plus, let's not forget the visual impact of those deep breaths as her chest rises and falls. It's hard not to let your eyes linger on her curves, and chances are she knows exactly what effect it's having on you. So if you catch a woman savoring your scent with those deep, deliberate breaths, take it as a sign that she's not just enjoying your company, but maybe also imagining getting even closer and inhaling a whole lot more than just your cologne. 7. Teasing lip movement. Let's dive into a signal that's sure to make your heart skip a beat. The tantalizing lip tease. Picture this. You're locked in a flirtatious gaze with a stunning woman, and suddenly you notice her tongue darting out to trace the contours of her lips, or maybe even her teeth grazing her bottom lip in a sensual nibble. Guys, when a woman is playing with her lips like this, it's not just because they're chapped, although if they are, maybe offer her some lip balm, smooth move right. More often than not, it's a subconscious signal that she's thinking about kissing, and maybe not just on the lips. You see, the lips are one of the most erogenous zones on the body, packed with sensitive nerve endings that are just begging to be stimulated. When a woman draws attention to her mouth with these teasing movements, it's like she's hinting at all the delicious things those lips could do and all the places they could explore. Plus, there's just something undeniably erotic about a woman who knows how to use her mouth to drive a man wild. So if you catch a woman engaging in some lip-talking foreplay from across the room, consider it an open invitation to make your move and see if those teasing lips live up to their promise. 8. Flashing her lingerie. Now, gentlemen, let's talk about a signal that's a bit more brazen than the rest. The tantalizing lingerie flash. Imagine this. You're chatting with a beautiful woman and suddenly you catch a glimpse of something lacy peeking out from beneath her clothing, maybe a bra strap sliding down her shoulder, or a hint of lace at the top of her blouse. Guys, when a woman is accidentally letting her lingerie show like this, it's no accident at all. It's a deliberate tactic to get your mind wandering to all sorts of naughty places. You see, lingerie is like the ultimate tease. It's a sneak peek at what lies beneath a promise of the treasures that await the lucky person who gets to unwrap the full package. When a woman gives you a flash of her most intimate attire, it's like she's saying, hey, I've got something special under here. And if you play your cards right, maybe you'll get to see the rest. Now, it's important to note that not all lingerie flashes are an invitation to pounce. If she quickly adjusts her clothing and seems embarrassed or uncomfortable, it's best to pretend you didn't see anything and move on. But if she lets that strap linger or even gives you a coy smile as she tucks it back into place, boy, she's not just undressing you with her eyes, she's giving you a VIP pass to her private fashion show. 9. Emphasizing her curves. All right, let's explore a signal that's all about those dangerous curves, the tantalizing body showcase. Picture this. You're in the presence of a gorgeous woman, and suddenly you notice her arching her back, tilting her hips, or otherwise positioning her body in a way that emphasizes her most stunning assets. Gentlemen, when a woman is deliberately drawing attention to her curves like this, it's not just because she's trying to crack her back or strike a pose for the gram. It's a surefire sign that she wants you to take notice. and maybe even imagine running your hands over those tempting contours. You see, the female form is a work of art, and when a woman is proud of her masterpiece, she wants to display it in the best possible light by arching her back. She's not just improving her posture, she's putting her chest on tantalizing display. By cocking her hip to the side, she's not just shifting her weight, she's creating an irresistible hourglass silhouette. These subtle body movements are like a sensual siren song, luring your eyes and maybe even your hands to all the right places. So if you catch a woman artfully arranging her assets in your presence, take it as a clear sign that she wants you to appreciate the view and maybe even imagine taking a closer look. 10. Slow, sensual smiles. Now let's talk about a signal that's sure to melt your heart, and maybe even your zipper, the slow, sensual smile. Picture this. You're locked in eye contact with a beautiful woman and suddenly her lips curve into a smile that's so slow, so deliberate, it's like she's savoring every second of your reaction. Guys, when a woman is smiling at you like this, it's not just because she's being polite or friendly. It's a sign that she's thoroughly enjoying your company, and maybe even imagining enjoying a whole lot more. You see, a smile is one of the most powerful tools in a woman's flirting arsenal. It's a way of conveying warmth, approachability, and even desire without saying a word. But not all smiles are created equal. A quick, polite grin is one thing, but a slow, sultry smile that lingers on your lips and dances in your eyes is a whole different story. When a woman takes her time smiling at you like this, it's like she's letting you know that she's in no rush to end this moment. In fact, she might just be imagining all the ways to prolong it. Plus, there's something undeniably sexy about a woman who knows how to wield her smile like a weapon of mass seduction. So if you find yourself on the receiving end of one of these tantalizing grins, consider yourself officially under her spell and enjoy every second of it. 11. Casual innuendos. All right, let's dive into a signal that's a bit more verbal than the rest. The tantalizing innuendo. Picture this. You're deep in conversation with a beautiful woman, and suddenly the topic shifts to what she finds most appealing in a potential partner. She might mention her weakness for broad shoulders, her love of a chiseled jawline, or her appreciation for a nice, firm backside, all the while her eyes are roaming over your body like she's mentally checking off boxes. Guys, when a woman is openly discussing her physical turn-ons with you, it's not just because she's making casual conversation or fishing for compliments. It's a bold way of hinting at her own attraction to you, of letting you know that you're checking all the right boxes in her mental checklist of desirable traits. You see, talking about physical attraction is like verbally undressing someone. It's a way of stripping away the layers of small talk and pleasantries and getting right to the heart, and maybe even the loins, of the matter. When a woman is sharing her most intimate desires with you, it's a sign that she trusts you, feels comfortable with you, and maybe even sees you as a potential fulfillment of those desires. So if you find yourself on the receiving end of some seriously steamy admissions, take it as a clear indication that she's not just interested in your mind, she's interested in your body too. And she's not afraid to let you know it. 12. Caressing objects. Now, gentlemen, let's explore a signal that's a bit more subtle than the casual innuendo, but no less indicative of her carnal cravings. The object caress. Imagine this. You're watching a beautiful woman from across the room, and suddenly you notice her fingers slowly stroking the stem of her wine glass, or sensually sliding up and down a pen she's holding. Guys, when a woman is caressing an object like this, it's not just because she's appreciating its smooth surface or practicing her hand modeling skills. It's a subconscious way of hinting at how she might touch you given the chance. You see, our minds have a funny way of projecting our desires onto the world around us. When a woman is feeling frisky, she might find herself absent-mindedly caressing objects in a way that mimics how she'd like to be touched, or how she'd like to touch you. By sliding her fingers up and down that glass or pen, she's not just fidgeting, she's creating a tantalizing visual of what those fingers could do to your body if given the chance. Plus, there's just something undeniably erotic about watching a woman's hands in motion. It's like a sneak peek at her sensual skills, a promise of the pleasure those hands could bring. So if you catch a woman getting handsy with her surroundings while stealing glances your way, take it as a sign that her mind, and maybe even her body, is craving your touch, and start brainstorming ways to make that fantasy a reality. 13. Sitting on her hands. Let's talk about a signal that's a bit more understated than the object caress, but equally enticing, the subtle chest showcase. Picture this. You're sitting across from a stunning woman, and you notice her casually sliding her hands beneath her thighs, almost like she's sitting on them. Guys, when a woman is positioning herself like this, it's not just because her hands are cold or she's trying out a new yoga pose. It's a sly way of pushing her chest forward and drawing your attention to her most eye-catching assets. You see, by sitting on her hands, she's creating a natural arch in her back that thrusts her breasts front and center. It's like she's putting them on a tantalizing pedestal, just begging for your gaze to linger on their tempting curves. Plus, there's just something incredibly alluring about a woman who knows how to work her angles and showcase her best features without being too overt about it. It's a subtle form of seduction that hints at her confidence and body positivity, two traits that are undeniably sexy in their own right. So if you find yourself faced with a woman who's casually perched on her own hands, take a moment to appreciate the view and maybe even let her catch you appreciating it. 14. Talking about physical attraction. Now let's venture into some seriously steamy territory with a signal that's about as subtle as a brick to the face, the overt discussion of physical attraction. Imagine this. You're deep in conversation with a beautiful woman, and suddenly the topic shifts to what she finds most appealing in a potential partner. She might mention her weakness for broad shoulders, her love of a chiseled jawline, or her appreciation for a nice, firm backside, all the while her eyes are roaming over your body like she's mentally checking off boxes. Guys, when a woman is openly discussing her physical turn-ons with you, it's not just because she's making casual conversation or fishing for compliments. It's a bold way of hinting at her own attraction to you, of letting you know that you're checking all the right boxes in her mental checklist of desirable traits. You see, talking about physical attraction is like verbally undressing someone. It's a way of stripping away the layers of small talk and pleasantries and getting right to the heart, and maybe even the loins of the matter. When a woman is sharing her most intimate desires with you, it's a sign that she trusts you, feels comfortable with you, and maybe even sees you as a potential fulfillment of those desires. So if you find yourself on the receiving end of some seriously steamy admissions, take it as a clear indication that she's not just interested in your mind, she's interested in your body too, and she's not afraid to let you know it. So now that you know how to spot those signs, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.